Next tool we're going to go over is the text tool. You can use the text tool for lots of different things. What we're going to do today, you're going to write your first and last name, and you're going to have a background or an image that you create or put in and have your name on top of it. So I'm going to show you how to use the text tool. So if you get your new document, and in your layers, of course, go in and do your background image, whatever you're going to do. The text tool is this T down here below the pen tool, and the shortcut is the letter T. So if you hit T, then you'll go to it. Up at the top, you'll notice similar things that you would see in Word programs and different programs like that. This is the font that you can choose from. In the fonts, it'll say the name, and to the right, it usually will give you a sample, what it will look like, so you can choose your font. And you can download new fonts all of the time as well, anytime that you want to use different fonts. I have a ton of fonts on mine. So if you choose your font, next to it, it depends on the font if it has different settings. This one you can do condensed or you can do regular. And then you have the size. The size only goes up to 72, but you can type in an amount and then just push the return key and then it will set that size. Sharp, it can be crisp, strong, or smooth. So if you want it to be bold, then it would be strong. So those are the in-betweens. Then it gives you the justifications. So you can do left justified, center justified, and right justified. And then this is the color that it's on right now. Just like with the paintbrush, you can choose colors with the color picker, or you can add swatches, or you can go to the color library. With the color, you can also, just like the brushes, go down here into the foreground color and click on it, and that opens up. Or if you have your color swatches open, then you can choose from any of those colors. To the right of that is the text warp, and I'll go over that in just a minute. So if you type on here, now my font's too big, so select all of it, and I'll make it a little smaller so you can see. Maybe we should change it to a bolder font so you can see better. Okay, so here's my font with my name. If I am using the text tool, click up top where the text warp is, just like in Microsoft Word where you can do the warp stuff, and you can go in and change the bend, and you can change it the opposite direction and make it smaller or bigger, and you can distort it so then it has more bigger up front here or smaller. You can do a flag. There's lots of different warps that you can do, and it gives you the preview as you're doing it. Another thing that you can do with the text, if you go to your move tool, so now your text is applied, you open up your layers window where the text is, it will always tell you have your whole writing in here. Even if you write a whole sentence or a paragraph, it's going to have it in here as the title. So you can change it, click on the actual word, and you can change it to whatever you want it to be. If you double click outside of the letters, but still on that layer, then you have layer styles that will open. I'll zoom in here so you can see. When you go to the layer styles, so you can do different things. Whichever one you click on, if you just click on it, you're not going to be able to see what's going on. So you need to actually select it so that you can go in and change it. So you can emboss it, and there's different things in here that you can change it to. Then you can change the depth and the size. So all of these you can go in and you can change them differently. So if I do a stroke, then I can have an outline on it. I can change the color of the outline. So if I want it to be a green color, I can do that. And I can change the size so it can be really fat or it can be really thin. And I can actually type in numbers here if I want to type in a number. You can change it to the inside of the lettering or the center of the lettering. So there's different things that you can do here. You can also change it to a pattern or a gradient. So I see now on the outside it'll fill it with this pattern. Okay, you can do shadows, you can do overlays. Here's a pattern overlay, so if you want to fill your letters with an actual pattern, you can do that. And you can go in here and change to a different pattern. I have these different heart patterns saved, so you can do hearts if you want. You can go into your, when you do the Brush Easy program, you can download different patterns as well, and the patterns will save in here. That's what the hearts are from. And once you have it the way you want it, and you can do a drop shadow, you can move where the drop shadow is, so each of these you can go through and change. When you have it the way you want to, say OK, and then it places it there. Then in your layers, you see it has these different effects on here. And it has the eyeballs. If you close the eyeball, then it will get rid of that effect if you want, if you don't want it up anymore. You don't like it, you can check it out and see the way that you want it. If you don't like, you can double click again and uncheck it so it's not there anymore. And so with the fonts, if you click and hold on the T, you can also do a vertical type. So if I type my name again, now it's going to be vertical. The only thing with vertical font is sometimes in design it's really hard for people to read that and to see, to actually be able to read what the word is, especially if it's longer. So if you go back to where my name is, the whole name with the pattern and everything, I can do a Command T so I can transform it. And I can hold the Shift key and hold from the corner and I can size it. I don't have to size it that way. I can size it so it's skinny and fat and long, whatever I want to do with the transform. I can also hold the Shift key and rotate so that then it is vertical. And then you'll see it's easier to read it if the whole thing is actually turned sideways. So there's different things that you can do with the font, and you guys can just mess around with it, change things up. For your background, you can click on the background layer, or you can go down here and do a new layer. And then you can fill your background with something so that then your name stands out. Obviously my name's not going to stand out with that gradient, so, and that's it for fonts. It's pretty easy.